You're 17, moving a mulch pile in your neighbor's backyard for $15 an hour cash. The contractor pays you Friday in 20s from his truck console. 40 years later, you sign a sale agreement for $400 million. Between those two moments sits a $500,000 job trade that runs on hand signals and locate paint. This is every level of running heavy equipment in America, and what it actually costs to climb. If you like breakdowns of how careers actually progress, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The Suburban Kid on a Bobcat. You're 17. The contractor is your uncle's friend, and he hands you the keys to a Bobcat S570 because his real operator called in. Pay is $15 an hour cash. The seat is hot vinyl and the cab smells like diesel and somebody else's lunch. The foreman points at a mulch pile, points at the bed lines along the fence, and walks away. You squeeze the wig-wag pedals and the machine lurches. The hydrostatic whine climbs. You scoop, you spill, you scoop again, and a cubic foot of mulch slides off the bucket onto the customer's pavers. The foreman watches from the truck and says nothing. You learn to keep the bucket flat, to feather the joysticks, to listen to the engine drop when the load is too heavy. By noon, you're auger drilling fence post holes along the property line. By 3, you're skim grading a backyard for sod. The foreman comes back. He nods once. You stop counting the hours. At the end of the day, he points at the trailer and says, chain it down. 4 points, grade 70, 30 to 45 degrees off the deck. You run the chains, you curl the bucket, you set the brake. He checks every binder without looking at you, tightens one, and walks off. Friday, he hands you 4 20s and a 10 and tells you to come back Saturday. You buy a pair of leather gloves on the way home, and you ruin them by Tuesday. Level 2. The first real seat. You're 19, on a residential crew, $18 an hour, and a W-2. The machine is a Caterpillar 420 backhoe, 97 horsepower, about 160,000 new, and the boss tells you not to put a scratch on it. Day 1 is a basement dig on a 30 by 40 footprint, 8 feet deep. The foreman shows you the locate marks the morning crew sprayed. Blue is water. Yellow is gas. Red is electric. He tells you to call 811 yourself next time, 3 business days ahead, and to photograph every mark. You strip the topsoil to a stockpile. You pull a string line along the dig outline. You start in the corner. Boom up, track square, swinging spoils to the uphill side. The surveyor's stake reads C1.43, cut 1.43 feet below the hub. You read it 3 times before you trust it. Halfway down, the bucket scrapes something orange. You stop. The foreman jumps in the trench, brushes the dirt back, and finds an unmarked fiber line the locator missed. He calls it in, and the day is over before lunch. The contractor billed $16,000 by a utility on a different job is a story you'll hear at every yard you ever work in. You start photographing, locates the way some men photograph their kids. The next week, the foreman lets you cut footings to a 42-inch frost depth on a 3-bedroom alone. You hand clean the corners with a shovel, check the cut to grade with a builder's level, and stand back. The inspector measures, signs, and leaves. The foreman walks the cut, finds nothing, says you'll need a CDL Class A inside a year. You don't call your mother back. Ready for Level 3? Level 3. The Journeyman Operator. You're 25, IUOE Local 18 card in your wallet, base wage $45.14 an hour with health and pension stacked on top. The machine is a Caterpillar 320, 50,000 pounds, 172 horses, through a Cat C 4.4. The job is a storm sewer run on a school site, 36-inch reinforced concrete pipe, 8 to 12 feet deep, 1,000 linear feet to the manhole. You set the 8 by 20 steel trench box at the start. You bed the pipe in number 57 stone, screeded flat with a pipe laser. The laborers hone the joint. You haunch with stone to spring line. You backfill in 12-inch lifts. The inspector runs a nuke gauge on every pass, 95% Proctor, or it comes out. The Trimble Earthworks tablet on the cab post shows the design TIN in green and the bucket tip in red, centimeter accurate off the RTK base. You stop watching the bucket. You start watching the laborer. The journeyman next to you has been on iron since 1996 and tells you the joysticks talk back. Pilot pressure tells you what the cutting edge is touching before your eyes do. He's right. By Wednesday, the rhythm is set. 4 trucks in a loop, swing free last bucket topper, horn tap, gone. Then Thursday morning, you swing a loaded bucket, and the laborer in the trench drops his shovel and dives sideways. You catch the motion in your peripheral and stop the swing 2 feet off his hard hat. You climb out, you sit on the track for 10 minutes. The journeyman walks over, hands you a water, says nothing. You think of Ryan Starnes, 23, struck and killed by an excavator bucket on a Michigan DOT job. His uncle and grandfather worked the same prime. You think of Atlantic Drain in Boston, 2 men buried in an unprotected trench, the owner convicted of 2 counts of manslaughter. You finish the day. You walk every joint with the inspector and rover the invert and rim of every structure for the as-built. Inside a 1/4 inch. The foreman signs the day sheet without reading it. You start parking around the corner of the yard, away from the new hires. The journeyman moves to a different crew the next month. Ready for level 4? Level 4. The lead operator. You're 33. Total comp around $120,000 with overtime and per diem, $75 to $150 a day on top of base when the job is out of town. The machine is a Caterpillar 390 FL, 190,000 pounds, a Cat C18, putting down 543 horses. The site is a highway widening, 90 acres, a mass cut on ATIN model uploaded to every machine through Trimble connected community. You set the bench at the face, 3 to 4 feet per lift in cohesive soil, 6 articulated dumps in a continuous loop, load, swing, dump, return, cycle time tracked on VisionLink and printed on the trailer wall by morning. A wheeled loader keeps the floor of the cut clean. On the fill side, a Cat D9 spreads in 12-inch lifts and a smooth drum vibratory roller hits 4 to 6 passes. The nuke gauge follows. The numbers come back 96, 97, 95. You keep moving. You learn the machines are easy and the people are hard. The truck driver hates you because your last bucket made his load unbalanced. The dispatcher hates you because you radioed twice for a lowboy. The safety guy hates you because you skipped the morning JSA to fuel the 390 yourself. You eat lunch in the cab and listen to the C18 idle. The foreman radios that the rookie just rolled a D3 down a Hall Road embankment. Open station, came out of the seat, face first into the hot exhaust, bounced off a spinning track. The kid lives. The dozer doesn't. You take over the rookie's shift and run nights for 3 weeks. You stop saving the pay stubs. The GC superintendent walks the cut with you on a Saturday and asks if you've ever bid your own work. Ready for level 5? Level 5. The owner-operator. You're 47. 2 used Cat 336 excavators, a used Cat D6 with first-generation GPS bolted to the cab, a Mack Granite dump truck, a 50-ton low bed, and a yard you rent on the edge of town. The first job is a $1.4 million school site package, subbed under a GC who knew you at level 4. The surety underwriter approves a $1.5 million performance and payment bond on your CPA-reviewed financials and an EMR mod rate of 0.88. You walk the site with the GC superintendent, take quantities off the blue line in Bluebeam, price the dirt at a yard rate, the pipe by linear foot, the structures each. You add equipment, labor, fuel, mobilization, bond, insurance, overhead, and profit. You submit the bid bond at 5% of penal sum. You win by $18,000. The geotech borings missed a clay seam at the southwest corner. The first week of the dig, you hit it. You argue a $40,000 unsuitable soil change order with the architect. He won't sign time and materials tickets. The GC superintendent, same role, same kind of man, different yard, backs you. The architect signs. The foreman who corrected you at level 2 retired last year. You sent him a card. The surety underwriter calls every quarter and asks for working capital numbers. You give them to him before he asks. By 53, you have 8 machines, 22 employees, $4 million in revenue, an ANSBA surety bond guarantee ceiling of $9 million on non-federal work. You bid a 60-lot subdivision and finish at margin. You don't read the personal guarantee carefully the first time. The second time, you do. A private equity roll-up calls in October. Ready for level 6? Level 6. The exit. You're 60. A strategic acquirer signs a letter of intent at $400 million, $375 million in cash, $25 million in stock and seller notes. Houlihan Lokey runs the sell side. Due diligence takes 3 to 4 months. A Big 4 accounting firm runs the quality of earnings review. Ritchie Bros appraises the equipment yard by yard. An environmental phase 1 walks every parcel. The working capital peg is set at close. You sign a non-compete inside a defined geography, 3 years, and a retention agreement to stay through transition. The deal closes on October 2, 2019. The press release names the Atlanta Braves Stadium on the project list. The recurring superintendent, same role, 3 different jobs, 3 decades, sends a one-line email, about time. The morning after the close, you drive past the yard at 5:30 a.m. The keypad code still works. You sit in a used Cat 336, the one you bought first, and run the joysticks for 10 minutes with the engine off. You don't tell anyone. The kid on the Bobcat is closer to the founder than to the laborer beside him. The trade looks like it gates on the union hall, the apprentice list, the journeyman card. It doesn't. The actual gate is a surety underwriter you've never met, who decides on a Tuesday whether to bond your $1 million job, based on a working capital number and an EMR. Mod rate. The path from $15 an hour cash to a $400 million exit is straighter than the path to a stable $80,000 W-2, because the operator who likes machines tends to keep buying them. The trade is also getting safer faster than anyone in it knows. 39 trench collapse deaths in 2022, 12 in 2024, a near 70% drop in 24 months. The buried alive cliché is becoming statistically wrong on the ground. On the office shelf sits a glass deal cube from October 2, 2019, next to a Polaroid of a leased backhoe from 1983. The same yellow hood emblem in both, 40 years of Georgia clay between them. A few feet to the left, on a desk you barely use anymore, sits a Bobcat S570 keychain, the same model the contractor handed you at 14, when he paid you $15 an hour, cash, from a truck console. You still have the gloves you ruined that Tuesday. You never throw out gloves.